Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, here to share with you our latest on the video series, the Tussie Mussie. You may know this as the word posy or a talking bouquet. It's easy to describe though. A Tussie Mussie is just a circular bouquet made up of delicate blossoms, foliages, and herbs, with each material having a specific meaning or message to convey to the recipient. Of course, if you're making a romantic Tussie Mussie, first choice is just about got to be roses, which represent love. And the pink is sweet, young, gentle love. As you prepare your materials, you want to remove the extra foliage and the lower blooms because they'll just get buried. Save those for something else. And then lay them out in front of you. As you pick maybe an herb like rosemary, that's one of my favorites. Rosemary stands for remembrance. How perfect. So we've got gentle love, we've got remembrance. It doesn't take a lot, maybe a sprig or two. You know, rosemary is so fragrant. I'm going to come down and just use a little bit here. There we go. Maybe even baby's breath. It's so light and delicate, very appropriate. Stands for pure heart. And then as you're assembling, you can think about even fragile blossoms, things that you wouldn't expect to use. Something like a viola, which stands for faithfulness. And as I harvested this, I picked it as close to the bottom as I could. Then I removed the lower foliage. And then rather than lay this on my table, I'm going to set it into a vase of water so that it stays hydrated as long as possible. That way they won't fade on me too soon. Another lovely little garden flower is allium. This is a different variety of allium. Yes, it still smells like an onion. It's got that very herbal fragrance, but so beautiful. Allium stands for unity, which put together with a bit of status for never ceasing, quite appropriate. So never ceasing, unity, love, remembrance, faithfulness. How grand is all of that? Maybe a little bit of lamb's ear for gentle support. Yes, that's what it stands for, gentle support. And then Galix for friendship. And Dusty Miller, just a tiny, tiny bit of Dusty Miller. Oh, how grand. All these beautiful flowers just to set into one very wonderful, meaningful speaking bouquet. As I begin assembly, I just need to pick my materials up one at a time and cluster them into my hands. It's that simple. Picking a rose first because I love it, and then maybe the viola. Letting it peek over the top. I'm going to cluster a couple of them here to make sure I get value from those little petite faces. Then maybe a little bit of the rosemary. And baby's breath. And then I think about my colors and how they're together and what's happening. And I've got white and dark. So this might be a good place to add a tiny bit of the lamb's ear to lighten the other side. And then maybe a little bit of the status to darken over here. So the colors go from side to side to side, balanced symmetrically. A few more of the roses. A little bit more status. The last of the baby's breath, and that's too big. I'm going to clip that down. Sometimes you get working and you just know it's wrong. It's way too big. So if I clip that out of there and use just the small cluster, far more delicate. A little bit more of the rose and rosemary. And that last bit of baby's breath can go on this side. The last bit of the lamb's ear A little bit of the delicacy of the Dusty Miller. I haven't added my allium, but it drapes so beautifully. How perfect to add it right over here on the side where it can drape outward. And then a collar of Gaelics sneaking up from the bottom, placing it right underneath to give visual support all the way around. And then double checking. Is it symmetrical? Is everything where I want it? The back should just be bare and the top absolutely beautiful. To hold it all together, I could use raffia, bind wire, twine, but I want to use ribbon. It's so delicate, so feminine. So just pulling off a length and then holding it in one hand and wrapping round and round, snugly binding all the flowers together. And then knotting the two ends just to secure it. No bow, I don't want that much fluff. Just a little bit of color, some soft gracefulness of the pink. Then all I need to do is cut my stems down so that they'll all be able to drink. Because I'm going to set it into a little vessel of water so it will last. So I just cut all my stems. And then set it right into the vase. What a perfect romantic Tussie Mussie. It speaks volumes. Unity, love, friendship, never ceasing, delicate support, all in one tiny little bouquet. Wouldn't you just love to receive this from a special friend? I know I would. But for now, if you want more creative inspiration and see more romance too, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions or want to know more about the Victorian language of flowers and the Tussie Mussie and speaking posy, feel free to contact us. You can give us a call at 1-800-819-8089 or use my personal email at Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. So have fun, create lots of talking posies, and do something you love.